Shot 9, the lazy man's rack. You can shoot at any speed. Softer gives you a better chance. Hard, like you see me do, is more dramatic, seeing the rack slam down. Rack up 15 balls and use a high-quality wood rack and not some thin plastic one. Pull out the one ball, lift up the front of the rack, and wedge the cue ball under the left front side so half of the cue ball is holding the rack up. Place the one ball by the back side of the rack and now bank at 3 rails to return to the rack and take its place where it belongs at the top. When it enters, it ejects the cue ball and the rack slams down with a thud. You will normally bank hitting the left long rail at diamond 1. Always use a half tip to 1 full tip running English at 3 o'clock level cue. Jump the 8 ball into the rack. Here you see me jump the cue ball into the 8 ball, and the cue ball goes into the center of the rack where the 8 ball belongs. We thought you could see the cue ball better, so we reversed the 2. Rack up 15 balls, remove the 8, spread them out with your hands to increase the hole in the middle of the rack. Set the 8 ball on the bottom right side of the rack. Now place the cue ball even with the 3rd row of balls where the 8 ball goes. Now jack up, hit 1 tip left and somewhere below center. I have a very strong jump, and for me that might be a half tip below center. For you, that might mean 2 tips down. Shot 11, Mingo's force follow. You want a very level cue. The cue needs to be level and parallel with the bed. Hit straight up top, 12 o'clock, 1 tip above center, maybe 1.5 tip. On the first shot, we were going around 1 blocker ball, set in the middle of the short rail. That ball's not even in play, but when you see me add the second ball, then it is, and you have to do a really good stroke. Now and then I'll add a 3rd ball, which makes the shot now world-class and almost impossible to make, but now and then I do make it. Shot 12, 2 and 1 force follow. The angle in is vital, then the English. This will vary between 12:30 and 1:30. How far you go out and come back in with the cue ball or how hard you hit it is up to your personal preference. On this shot, I did not attempt to show off, just make it and get out of there. Shot 13. I call this Fast Eddie's Easy Action 5 and 3. My shot here is a 4 and 3 because I'm dealing with very tight pockets. The setup, the 11 and the 13 ball, is in an even line left side of the left point of the pocket. Their bottom edge off the rail line. Now add the 15 on the same line and the 11 with both bottom edges right on the rail line. The distance between them can be 1 inch to 1.5 inches depending on the size of the pocket. The cue ball is placed in the center of the table, so the center of the cue ball hits the outside edges of the 13 and 15. Now hit the 13 very thin, which produces an almost full ball, slightly off center hit on the 15, which drives the cue ball down the long rail. I hit the rail once and loop back into the corner ball for the pot. I hit this shot very hard. Most prefer to hit this shot about half the force I do and hug the rail for 2 or 3 bumps, which is also very cool. Begin at 1 tip up to 1.5 tips up. If you can't keep the cue ball on the rail, to make the down the rail pot, you'll have to put some reverse on the cue ball. Shot 14. Joe Hood's 4 and 4 force follow. The shot you just saw had my cue ball go around 5 blocker balls. Begin by placing the 1, 2, and 3 with balls behind them, so they are all three the same distance off the rail. Now remove the back balls. Place the 9 in the corner. Place a ball at diamond 3, 1 diamond left of the side pocket. Now place 2 more balls left of that one, all frozen. And I now add 2 weighted 2-pound bottles behind that string to dress up the shot. Now remove the 2 measure balls on the right of that string. And remove the 2, making a 2-ball opening for the cue ball to now pass through the gauntlet. The 1 goes in the side, the 2 ball cross banks in the other side pocket, the 3 goes down the long rail to pot in the corner. The cue ball has a very wide swing which goes through the gauntlet to pot the 9 in the opposite corner, a 4 and 4. Shot 15, Willie's 1941 6-rail 2-ball. This shot was filmed in November 1948 and was released as a Pete Smith short in early 1949 as the Willie Mosconi story of his life. They tossed several trick shots in there to make his win look spectacular. Well, I guess that's Hollywood. They never happened. It was just all a made-up con. The problem is generations grew up seeing this and thinking the shot actually happened. You begin by shooting into diamond 1 or somewhere around there, 1 tip hard, running English, and then walk over and see where the cue ball hits at the 6th rail. Then just set the 8-9 combo where the cue ball is coming into. On one table it might be diamond 1, on another it could be diamond 2 or halfway in between. The beauty of the combo is you can hit this shot bad and it will still go. If you catch any piece of the 8, it has a chance to pot. It's a really big target to shoot at.
Getting better.
Shot 16, Willie's 1941 6-rail bank. You shoot the cue ball into diamond 1 with running English. You must shoot it hard. It goes around the table and hits 5 or 6 rails and cuts in a single ball, which is a very difficult shot. The way you perform the shot is you shoot in a diamond 1, and then you run over to the other rail and wait for the cue ball to arrive. And where it arrives, you put a piece of chalk, remember that, and that's where you set the shot up. Then it will repeat.